Hello, everyone. For this review, we have the Ramen Toy The Marshall. So, this is basically meant to be an homage to Bravestar. It's going to come in this plastic baggie, and the box is very cool. Like the colors very well complement the photo painting, whatever this is on the front. Kind of seems like somebody took maybe a photo and did like some Photoshop touch ups with it. On the top, you've got this Marshall insignia, same insignia on the side. On this side, you get a little bit of a pose at the bottom. You get some warnings here. And then back, another kind of like photo slash painting type thing going on. And these wolf tiger effects behind him. This also has a book opening feature to it. So you can open up and see the Marshall in there. And then you get this cool artwork over here with all the animal spirits behind them. Okay, so that is the box. Let's go ahead and get him out. One cool thing is that there's no tape on this. So hopefully that will make this reseal friendly. And this is the inside. And got a little baggie back behind here with a gun and a blast effect. And then we've got this, which is really nice. It says art and design by Ken Coleman, artofkencoleman.com. So should check that out. The cardboard is not the thickest, but this really looks good. Like I could see, using this as a partial backdrop on a shelf. And then we do have tape on the inner tray, and we got stuff falling out. But we've got three sets of hands along with what he comes with. Yeah. He's got his axe down here. He's got his holster and gun. We got the figure. We got a couple different hats. One hat with visor, one hat without, and then a alternate head. So let's go ahead and get him all the way out so we can take a look at him. Okay, here he is out of the package, and he's pretty impressive. The colors and the design of this character do a lot of the work. It's very interesting, and the idea that you've got basically a version of like a space Texas Ranger. That's kind of what this guy pretty much is, or space sheriff or whatever, is a cool concept. Dave Ramen Toy has modeled him to look a little bit more like Native American, and I kind of like that too. Like he's not just kind of generic, you know male figure. He's got a lot of personality. Like you can just imagine what this guy sounds like when he talks to you. So it's really cool what they've done. Um, Lots of detail. Again, lots of color all over the place. He's also designed to kind of have like modular outfits. See if I can take his head off here. So he's got that cloak and this blue vest, and it easily unpegs from the side, and you can just pull that off, and then put this on. And this is more, I think this is more like a classic look for him. This is definitely what the toy looked like. Can't remember if he looked exactly the same in the cartoon or not. And I didn't like watch the cartoon. Like I was aware of this character, but I did not watch this growing up. But I just think this design is just so incredibly cool that thought it'd be good to get this in review. So he's got that look, and then he's got a couple different heads. So he's got kind of this stoic head, and then he's got this slight smirk, and then I believe the hat and the visor is probably more toy. So there's that. And it looks pretty cool. And then without the visor, and then he's got that. So he's in space, so he needs a space gun. So we've got a holster, and I believe this can just go on the side over here. There's a little hole for it on the thigh, and this is part of the lower thigh, not a separate piece, so you don't have to worry about this sliding down or moving. So you can just stick that there. He also has the axe, and you can place that on this peg. And I like how these are uh, ball jointed. Well, the axe is ball jointed. So instead of it just being a straight peg, there's kind of like a flange, like a circle on it. So when you plug this in, it's pretty much going to stay there. The holster has a little bit of a mushroom, but it's not as pronounced. So this could possibly fall off easily. And then before we give him guns, he's got these closed fists in the package. Then he's got relaxed hands, a standard gripping hand, which you would use for the axe. And then he's got two trigger hands. So we will go ahead and switch his hands out. And I'm going to take this off and give him the other one again, the original. And you could totally have him with just this look. They basically gave you everything I think you could possibly want out of a figure like this. All right, so let's give him his blaster. And then he's got this rifle and the little baggie Says that these three items here are website exclusive. So there's this crystal. I don't know the story behind it. You got this rifle. It's got this nice metallic paint and a cloth-ish uh, strap. And then he's got this medallion necklace with these animal spirit symbols on it. And kind of seems like it would go on like this, but the animals are on this side. I don't know the story. I don't know if he's supposed to wear that all the time or if this is something that he's looking for and he finds it later. So forgive me for not knowing the lore there. But he holds these really nice. And then last, he's got a stand in the shape of a star, which is helpful. I can get it to go on. Mm, maybe that's not a stand. I don't know. It looks like a stand, and he does have holes in his feet, but this does not want to go on his feet for some reason. Yeah, that does not want to go on. It still looks cool. So you can pretend that he's standing on it like a figure stand. Some other highlights about the figure: the belt does float, so it does move. These pieces on the boot are like a separate kind of rubbery piece, so it really helps to not hinder the boot too much. The sculpt of the lower leg is going to do some hindering, so you do get a little bit of up and down. There is a rocker and there is a foot uh, articulation, and then his hips are on ball joints along with an upper thigh swivel and double knees, but because of the floating knee pad, there's going to be some restriction. And he's got double elbows, pinless all around. He does have a butterfly joint for the chest, a little bit inhibited by this vest he's got on right now. And he's got upper bicep swivel, and he's got the figure art style wrists where you can basically get the wrists in whatever position so you can do whatever lateral movement that you want with them. And then the neck, there is basically the neck is a separate piece, so dumbbell to the neck, then on the bottom side dumbbell from the neck into the torso. Oh, and last but not least, this is like extreme attention to detail. The ponytail is articulated. The ponytail is articulated. It's on a disc hinge and swivels at the base of the head where it plugs in at. So they did not have to do that, but they did. Yeah, pretty amazing figure. So one last thing, this figure is advertised as being 7 inch, and it seems to pretty much line up with that. So like here's a Super 7 figure, and he's actually maybe a tad bit taller. Like I can imagine the helmet would add some height, but Like if you look at their overall height, they're about the same. But compared to like another ramen human, um, these guys are quite a bit smaller. And he's got a helmet on, so he's not even this tall. But you can just see from like where his like you can tell the stature is quite a bit different. So I I think this was a little strange. Like I would think they would want to pair him with him, and maybe they just. I mean, the Centurion figures were produced, designed quite some time ago. So maybe if they redid these today, these would be 7 inch. I don't know if they're trying to pair these more with Super 7 because Super 7 is doing a lot of cartoon accuracy, cartoon look type figures. And maybe they were like, you know what, we think, the Marshall should be on the shelf with Duke and Snake Eyes and Lion-O. So I think that's kind of cool. And now it kind of makes me, I don't know. I got this whole thing about scale. All these companies doing these different scales, and I just wish they all had the same scale. And I can't stand it when something new comes out and it's just different from something else. At any rate, this is pretty cool. And I do think a lot of times the 7 inch allows more detail, like more attention to detail. But then we've got so many other figures, Marvel Legends, Star Wars, lots of other figures that are 6 inch that, these guys are too big for. So that's my only nitpick about this whole thing. Outside of it, it is an amazing figure. I know some other companies have done some modern Bravestar before, but this really takes the cake. So bravo to Ramen Toy for doing this. It's a great figure. So that's the review. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, tune into more videos coming up. And if you haven't done so, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it.